Good afternoon, good people. We are up in this thing and we are talking about a topic that not many people want to talk about. But this is the midterm election time and everybody's acting like we've lost our right to vote. Everybody has lost their mind. Everybody's going crazy, saying that the Voting Right Act has been, taken hostage. And now, if I go down to vote and I have an ID and I have everything that I need, my vote ain't gonna count now based on what they're saying. But let's listen to some of these people because we have been going back and forth with this for a few days. Hold on, let me get it to where I like it. I like that one. All right, let's hear this guy again. Let's recap. We're gonna recap with this fella and this young lady. These are two beautiful black people, and they're gonna give us a history lesson because that's what they all do. They got to go down history and memory lane instead of sticking to where we're at now. So let's take a little bit of a recap, then I'll bring you forward.
Get out of this conundrum. If somebody fell asleep in 1896 and woke up today in 2026, they would simply say the only difference is now Negroes have a TV show and we wear nice suits. They swapped out Klan hoods for Brooks Brothers suits. And that is the problem. I mean, Plessy v. Ferguson was 7-1, and it gave birth to 50 years of Jim Crow. What we have with this court right now, what we're seeing is watching people who have fought and died and bled so that we would have access to the ballot box, so that we would have access to our voices being heard in Congress, being ripped away. And I think that there is a casual laughter from people we believe to be our friends on the right who are showing us true colors today, because the most sacred, or one of the most sacred acts you have in the United States of America, is the ability to cast a ballot and elect someone and send them to Congress, the state house, or a mayoral seat that represent your interest. And now black folks throughout the South are being silenced. And I don't find that to be a laughing matter.
Democrats act like this really means black voters are being thrown back into 1896. That is political theater at its finest. Supreme Court saying congressional maps cannot be built primarily around race. That doesn't mean that the black vote is being silent.
Well, the Supreme Court has gotten it wrong generation after generation. The rights we enjoy right now are not because of 9 people on the Supreme Court. It's because people fought for them. And where the Supreme Court usually gets it wrong is when they're taking away rights, whether it's Korematsu with the internment of Japanese, whether it's Plessy versus Ferguson denying rights to African Americans, whether it's Dobbs, they got it wrong, taking away rights for women to control what happens to their bodies. And here we have again the Supreme Court taking away rights, equality, fair representation, and fair voting. Doing in result the exact same thing happened when Reconstruction fell in the 1870s. And exactly what happened then is state legislators moved to take away rights and access and fairness and representation from black people.
A race-based district is not a constitutional right, even though Cory Booker.
Every time they're talking to us black folks, it always have to be racially charged. They can never just talk to us about the policy, talk to us about what's going on, talk to us about what can we look forward to, talk to us about the outcomes of the things that you put in place already. Why don't we ever have educated conversation with so many educated people? When they implement anybody, Democrat, Republican, once you implement your strategy or your goals that you want to accomplish, shouldn't we look at a list of check marks? What did you accomplish in this thing that you said you wanted to get accomplished for us people? And if you fail short of that, shouldn't we only go off of that? Why do we have to go all the way back to history lessons? Why can't we speak in the now when people have concerns right now with you focusing on illegals instead of black folks, instead of white folks, instead of the military, instead of Americans? Why do we have to be subjected to listening to revisionist history about party switches and all these other things when people can't afford their mortgages right now? When they can't afford their mortgages, their car notes right now, why do we have to go take a history lesson? That's what I'm confused on.
Booker wants it to be, it sounds like. It was a tool, and we should be honest enough to admit that at one point.
That people are losing representation. People are losing their voice. No voter has lost their voice at all. No one's been disenfranchised. Every voter in America before these court rulings could go cast a ballot this November, and every voter in America, white, black, or otherwise, can go cast a ballot right now. The lines may be changing, but every voter still has the same amount of voting power, one vote, that they had. It's just that this Supreme Court said your race doesn't necessarily have to dictate your political identity. The fact that you're an American citizen and your franchise gives you one vote, that is your political identity. And it is incumbent upon both parties, Republicans and Democrats, to run people who speak not to just one constituency, but all American interests. To me, that's how the November election should be run.
Please.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I might agree with you if they hadn't said something different 3 years ago. We aren't talking about in Alabama, a district that existed when my grandmother was alive. We're talking about a district that was drawn in 2023 because there are injustices that are still being placed. We're talking about Memphis, where we're not like, it's not just one person across the street.
So you see that every time they'll talk about their grandmother, they'll talk about this, they'll talk about that. They will not talk about grown men dancing in front of children. They will not talk about putting illegals first. They will not talk about, if you don't like reparations, well, let's just call it whatever you did for the Asian Indian community. That's what we want. If it's government grants, you got to give us something. And us as black folks, we got to put ourselves in position in order to get something. We're not putting ourselves in position by blindly voting for one party. So let's move past this one and let's get this other video queued up. I think this is important.
He wanted somebody to knock his ass out, but he can't. You see what happened in Tennessee yesterday? When they got rid of that last so-called majority black district. That one dude with the afro, man, act a damn fool. Talking all that shit. Can't bust a fucking grape, right? He wanted somebody to knock his ass out, but he can't bust a grape, but he talking all that shit. Crying and bitch about a fucking district. An all fucking black district. They want segregation, man. But I guarantee you, they couldn't tell us one motherfucking thing in the last 20, 30 years that so-called majority black district has done good for black people in Memphis, Tennessee. Have you heard about Memphis, Tennessee? Have you heard anything good come out of Memphis, Tennessee? Fuck no. But they still crying about fucking representation. What, symbolic? What has they done? What are these fucking so-called majority black districts that ran by motherfucking black people and fucking white Democrats? What? Not a motherfucking thing. Nothing in Memphis is good, man. There's some good people in Memphis, but you know, I'm talking about the government. Memphis ran by fucking, they have a black mayor, black city council, black every fucking thing in Memphis. And look at it, he's still crying. They want a fucking representation for what? Look at the schools in fucking Chicago, all that black representation. They got Baltimore. I think on the west side of Baltimore, all them fucking boarded up buildings. The fucking streets look like shit. But yet they keep crying about some black representation for what? They don't give a fuck about black people. None of these people, none of these Democrats, they just want to win. They just want to fucking
facts.
Oh, Jim Crow, they take it all fucking right. Good. Good. All these southern states should be fucking red as red can be. We don't need no fucking Democrats down here in the South. Take y'all ass up north.
No, just go away completely somehow because the Democrats aren't doing a good job at running anything in any state.
And let me shout out this YouTuber. Let me move it. This YouTuber is I can't see it. The Unexplained Outlook. I want to make sure I give a shout out to the original content, The Unexplained Outlook. And this brother is spitting facts because when you get to the outcomes of what it is that you put in place, that's what we should go on. It shouldn't be, oh, you questioning something? You questioning the vote? Let me tell you about 1964. Let me tell you about 1955. Let me tell you about 1807. Like, we want to hear about the right now. Right now, we don't feel appreciated. Right now, we feel like you're putting illegals over black folk. Right now, we are underrepresented. Matter of fact, we're not represented anywhere. It's just we got a bunch of black figureheads speaking and talking loud, jumping and shouting, and trying to make it seem like race relations hadn't improved at all. But I don't know if you've been watching. Chud the Builder, his ass is facing 61 years. So you can do stupid things and win stupid prizes. Back in the day, racism that was faced with our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers and our uncles, they didn't have nobody to call. Everybody was in line with this type of racism. So why can't we say, yes, it's improved, even if you say just a little bit?
That they're in. All the blue states are ran terribly.
Black district. Give me one advantage of having a fucking black person running that district. What advantages? Nothing.
Here's his TikTok if you want to check him out, but he's absolutely right. And by now, have people not realized identity politics is the dumbest form of politics? It's completely changed from a normal person running for Congress to the afro with the fist up with the dashiki thing and the glasses trying to be Malcolm X. Just a complete manufactured fraud. All the publicity stunts.
And what this should show y'all is that all of these guys are manufactured. I told you, in order to make it to a certain level, these guys have to belong to somebody. They have to be manufactured. They have to be created. The one thing that Boyce Watkins told y'all out loud, they pissed off at me because of what? This man said he's for black people, but he was upset that I didn't have a white man above me. Remember, he said that. Remember that.
We can further his career. But if you haven't seen this, I'll show you really quick. It's unbelievable.
Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of PSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year.
Okay, normal there. How did we go from that to this?
Are still here, and today you'll take the only majority black district from us. But I want you to know, and I want my nephew, sons in the future to know, no matter what you do, no matter how much you try and break us and make us bend and make us quit, we will still be here.
All that screaming means nothing if you are not good at what you do. We need people that are going to go in there and pass good legislation and really fight for the American people. But it seems there's a common trend with Democrats. They like to put illegal aliens in front of American citizens. And it seems like they're all just in it for the money. They get into Congress and they never leave and never do anything. What's so different about this guy? He's already using identity politics. And I would be right because your boy JP is trying to further his career running for Congress. So, of course, running around screaming, shucking and jiving, doing all this nonsense is definitely a publicity stunt to get his name out there so we can start getting some of that donation money. Now, the Democrats, as we know, all run on the same crap. They never really offer anything except saying the same thing like Justin here. I will fight for working class people for an increased minimum wage, Medicare for all, and for environmental and climate justice. Give me a break. Come on, man. Climate justice? We're still doing this. We are still doing this. And the Democrats are going to eat it all up. They're going to soak it up.
Systems produce.
Ridiculous.
I'm going to prove to you right now what the Democrats' systems produce. Not what to say, not what they promise, not the speeches.
And that's important. Not what they say, not what they promise, but it's about what they do. Actions speak louder than words. We're getting caught up in words. We're getting caught up in racism. We're getting caught up in we love you. We're getting caught up in all inclusive. We're getting caught up in child care is health care and abortions is health care and all this other stupid stuff. What is the result of what is being pushed onto us? The result is damning. The result, look at Democrat-led cities. Don't focus on Trump. Without Trump, what are these people doing? I think they're getting paid to keep us stupid. And that just the long and short of it.
Not the celebrity activism like you saw yesterday, and not the emotional manipulation. I'm going to talk about measurable outcomes after 50 to 60 years of control. Period. Point blank. You can argue with yourself in a dark corner if you'd like to. Because if political ideology controls the schools, the prosecutors, the mayors, the city council, the welfare system, the public housing, the media narratives, the health departments, and the cultural messaging, then the outcomes belong to them, the Democrats, period.
Yeah,
Sit down for this. And what are the outcomes inside many long-term Democrat-controlled cities, like the one I live at? Higher homicide rates, higher violent crime exposure, higher overdose rates, higher fatherlessness, higher school failure, higher gang density, higher dependency, higher incarceration, higher business flight, and higher trauma exposure. That is not racism to behold at. That's governance. Now contrast with the poor Midwestern conservative. A family barely surviving on 70 acres. No massive government assistance, no endless equity programs, no racial grievance industries, no celebrity race hustlers, no billion-dollar urban incentives. Just a mother, a father, work, discipline, community, standards and expectations, chore, faith, ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And despite having much less, these people often produce safer children, lower homicide exposure, higher family stability, better behavioral outcomes, less addiction, less chaos, and stronger communities. Have you asked yourself why? Look at this chart. 50% of all murders come out of these areas. Why? Because culture matters more than their political theater. That farmer's child is statistically less likely to even hear gunfire at night, which I hear all the time. Walk past teddy bear zones and street memorials, balloons that are tied to trees because someone got shot, stabbed, run over, or killed there. Normalize narcotics trafficking. Develop chronic hypervigilance, or grow up surrounded by violent retaliatory cycles and actions. Meanwhile, in many Democrat-controlled urban zones, children grow up adapted to this chaos. Their nervous system is firing in all directions. Police lights become normal. Memorial balloons become normal. Street shrines become normal. Those teddy bear zones I just talked about, drug markets become normal. Drug dealing becomes normal. Overdoses on the sidewalk, the blue bodies you step over on the way to school. And fatherlessness becomes normal. I'm the abnormal one, having raised my children. And then the same politicians who created these environments scream at you about systemic oppression while they've controlled that system for generations.
Exactly. And now you have these young people.
And that's when you got to ask, what is the point of having a black face somewhere if they're only going to be a black face? If you can't run on a black agenda and you only got a black face, what is the point? This is what we got to start asking ourselves. Do we just want to go back to Jim Crow, segregation? What are we trying to get across? What do we actually want? And this guy is on here again. Watch this. This is on the righteous perspective. I just really want to know, what do we want out of the situation? Without all the screaming and yelling, what do we want to get accomplished?
What the Democrats' systems produce. Not what to say, not what they promise.
All right, we already seen that one. I got to go past this part. Sorry about that, guy. We got to go past this part.
Trapped inside of them. And every time someone points to the actual outcomes like me, they get called a coon, an Uncle Tom, a Sambo, a sellout, a self-loathing slob. Not because what I say is false, not because these statistics are false, but because the statistics expose the truth. This has been engineered. The poor conservative family with less money is often producing better human outcomes than the heavily funded urban Democrat machine produces. And that destroys their entire narrative because it proves the issue was just never resources to begin with. It was values, folks. It was incentives, culture, family structure, accountability, and environmental stability. They don't want that.
Hey, this dude's spitting facts, and he's on everybody's channel. He is spitting facts. This is not about the gerrymandering situation. Is not about us losing our right to vote. You can still go out and vote. It's more so Democrats are losing their power. You can't just go and get a district like Jim Clyburn in South Carolina and just keep black folks stupid. You have to. And I'm going to prove this on my other live. You have to come out now and you have to lobby, or you have to run on stuff for your whole district. It cannot just be for black folks. And that's what we should want. Why do we want things just for us when we don't live in the world by ourselves? Like, this is going to make it better. Like, to me, these Democrat-ran cities are running on unaliving children, teenage children that are in certain situations, and it's all about LGBTQ. It's all about transitioning children. It's all about the illegals. It's not about nothing else. They don't run on stuff that's sustainable. And when you question anything, you're hateful. And I just don't agree with that. I don't agree that every time you question something that you're hateful. So, hey, this is my time. Yes, this is a pre-record. So any of you who are talking trash in the chat, it's cool. It's a pre-record. My next video will be a live video. This one is a pre-record. So you guys have a blessed rest of your night. I'll be right back at you. I'm gone.